Hi there, it's me again, your host, Bradford Trojan. I am here with you today, this moment in time, flying through space on this big round ball of wax and dirt and grass and pizza and flubber and water and lamps and chairs. Gosh, so many things that we're flying through space with. I am really happy today because I'm having my first live guest on, Jason Milici. Really stoked for this. We are going to be hanging outside and chatting in the beautiful Tucson air, and I'm really excited. I just need a break from the computer, you know? There's only so much that I can handle of all these ones and zeros barraging my senses. Need some social engagement on. Get it on. I miss that with people. I love it. I'm really excited. Jason is an awesome human. He's a really great musician and artist and funny guy. And he's very, very sweet and gentile, a human he is. So I'm stoked. I'm glad you're here. And I really hope you enjoy our talk. So without further ado, Jason Milici.
My friends, till the very end, thank you for the fun and the play. Until next time, I hope you all do fine. Live to see another day. My pals and my peers, throughout all the years, you've done so much and wished me well.
Hey.
Hey.
What's happening? Look at us.
Yeah.
Just a couple of tramps here out in the
Here
Tucson day. We are outside of my house in the backyard on a nice cloudy day
Yeah,
in Tucson. Beautiful out
day.
here. This is so nice. And you are officially my first live friend on the show.
Nice.
Not that the other ones were
Oh.
dead. It's just we're in person, alive.
Well, I'm glad to be that.
Yeah, it's great, you know,
Yeah.
because this is just much more preferable for me to be able to sit with somebody and, you know, here we
Oh,
are.
yeah, I'm sure.
We're
yeah.
just here. And
Same. This would be. I'm not much of a Zoom person, so yeah, this would be.
yeah,
Or whatever you use for podcasts.
yeah, I've been doing Zoom, and it's working out well. But you know, we were just talking before we started here how the sound quality, you know, how important that is for us as musicians and
Yeah.
audio people. So
You've got it dialed in.
yes, you can't do that on Zoom. If you had done that just now, it would have had a crackle and computer, overlay
okay.
to it.
Yeah.
AI adds something that you know,
It's dithered.
it is dithered.
Damn dithering.
The damn dithering, man. Dithering. And
I
then,
don't know what that means.
I don't either, but it makes sense.
I think it's
that,
bad, though.
Yeah,
usually,
I don't think it's good. The dithering and the latency,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they're not good. Yeah, not friends of recording engineers.
Yeah.
And, you know.
I don't know if you've tried to do anything musical, but yeah, the latency is a killer. You can't really.
Yeah.
So there's people are investing in all kinds of
Yeah.
gizmos with zero latency so that they can play music.
Before we get too far into now, let's take a little trip down memory lane.
All right.
Twinkle, twinkle,
Yeah,
twinkle,
let's do that.
twinkle. Where are you from? Who
born
who
in
are
Arizona.
you? Who
Yeah.
are you?
Oh wow. Wow. It's gonna go right there.
We're going right for it. We'll just light fog. We'll do some fluff. This ain't no fluff piece.
No, I was born in Arizona
Okay.
in the White Mountains, Springerville. But grew up in Connecticut, where my dad is from. That whole half of the family didn't really, I was like 1.5 when we moved back to Connecticut. So
Yeah. You were, your mom is from here then? Or she was
my mom is from California,
she's from California?
Northern California,
Okay.
Yuba City, Grass Valley.
How did you
Around there.
how'd you end up in the White Mountains then?
Let's see. My mother's father was he's from Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
My mother's parents are both from Oregon.
Okay.
Logging industry,
Yeah.
and so I think he moved to the White Mountains to open a shake mill.
A shake mill.
Yeah, like shake siding shingles
Oh.
for houses.
Wow.
Yeah,
Making shingles.
making shingles.
Not getting them.
Yes.
So you end up being born there? You were born
Yeah.
in the White Mountains.
Yeah, my mother, going back a little bit, like she was pretty much a hippie,
Yeah.
and left on this epic road trip when she was like, I don't know, 20, something like that. Like left from college in Sacramento and hitchhiked across the country.
Whoa.
Wound up in Connecticut where there was going to be this thing called the Powder Ridge Festival,
Yeah.
which was going to be like the second Woodstock.
What?
And it was set up to be. You can like Google pictures of it, and like people showed up. It looks like Woodstock. There was like, I don't know,
Wow.
tens of thousands. I don't know how many people, 100,000. I don't know.
Well, where was it?
The Powder Ridge ski resort in Connecticut.
Whoa.
And
Okay.
yeah. So this was happening, and my mom was there for it. My dad was.
Who played there? Who like?
God, I can't remember who. Well, it didn't happen.
Oh.
This is why you've never heard of it. There was like some shady business dealings with the promoter.
Oh.
So there was no money. It was kind of just a big farce. The whole thing was not real.
Who was?
So it was a lot of people on acid,
Oh.
with no music.
Oh my gosh. Hey, we're gonna get the Beatles are gonna play, and the Rolling Stones, and the Grateful
Yeah.
Dead, Led Zeppelin. They're all playing here.
If you were Googling things, you could totally look at the bill.
Did
But
they okay, so yeah, there was a bill involved.
yeah, oh yeah, I have an original flyer from it. Yeah,
That's probably worth a chunk
I don't know.
of
Yeah, maybe.
hippie dust.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, so she was out there.
Yeah. So my dad was working there. They met there. My dad had like a whole huge bag of not acid, but mescaline.
Mescaline.
Yeah. So they had a big mescaline road trip together.
Where did they go?
On their road trip.
Yeah.
I know they went to San Francisco, which is where I think they vowed to never do drugs again. And they threw their stash into the ocean.
Oh no.
Yeah, of course, that lasted for a week or something. But yeah, eventually they ended up, having this dream of living in the mountains in Arizona,
Yeah.
the White Mountains, and my dad built like a A-frame house up there, and I was born, and then they moved back to Connecticut.
Were you born in that house? Like
No, I was born in the town,
The town.
Springerville
Okay.
Hospital. Yeah.
Wow, dude. And that's also the White Mountains. We've been up there many times collecting plants for the Partners Herb Store, but there's also like the big one of the big stories that came from there was the Travis Walton case, the UFO.
Yeah, my dad he remembers seeing like the search teams and stuff,
Really?
Yeah, totally.
What?
He has some stories around that.
I mean, it is interesting. So the Fire in the Sky is the movie. It's pretty like terrifying. I mean, it's really scary.
Yeah,
the
I
movie.
remember it like that too.
So I don't know if they just sensationalized it. I never like looked up the actual story and to see if it was a little less.
Yeah, me neither. At least not in
Hollywoodized.
a long time. Yeah.
And that's wow. So he was there for that. Yeah, that's interesting. It's also just a beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, that's like the White Mountains.
It is. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean,
You were just up there recently.
a couple weeks ago, and like Lakeside, Pine Top area.
Oh, so nice. Just like beautiful mountains in Arizona.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that we have that here in this state. Like,
It's the most diverse. It's the most diverse biological state I think there is. I think it has more
Really?
biodiversity in this. I'm fairly certain of this, just because I think we go from low desert to high mountain. Like we have that immense shift.
I'm gonna pour coffee.
It's a coffee
that's
break.
all right.
Yeah, you get to hear it. Everyone gets to just listen
Yeah,
to
that's-
the.
that's
What
not
kind of
bad.
coffee is that? What do you got there going on? Nice thermos. Listen to that.
Thank you. Yeah, classic Stanley thermos.
Yeah, the good old kind. They don't make them like that.
No, they don't.
I have a Stanley. I've got a Stanley thermos too. I've had for like 20 years.
Nice.
It's great. Yeah.
This is Caribou coffee, I think. I mean, probably not. I wouldn't want to necessarily say it's fantastic. Just
But
what I
it's-
have right now.
Just wait. It's in the Stanley. The Stanley's holding that for you. That's the holding vessel for the Caribou
Yeah.
coffee.
It's a hot beverage kind of day.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
We don't get those much.
No, we gotta savor this.
So much. Yeah,
Winters
just
are getting shorter and
cherish.
cherish.
You came from White Mountains, then back to Connecticut.
Yeah.
So
So
only here for a little bit, really.
yeah, my dad was I guess co-owning the shake mill with my mother's father, my grandfather.
Yeah.
He was known as Joe the Wop.
Oh.
In Springerville.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yow.
1970s Arizona,
1970s. We just did a quick little stop because I had to give you a pop filter to put
Pop.
on.
How's the pop?
The pop
Yeah,
sounds
that's
much
not
better.
bad.
There was a pop on WAP.
Pop on Wop.
So I lended you my pop filter. And for those of you that don't know that, pop filter helps with sibilance. So the P's and the B's are a little less poppy.
Well put. Well put.
That's better.
That is a
Can't
hell of
even
a
tell.
pop filter.
That's
working.
the
like
heck of a
champ.
good pop filter.
Yeah.
So so he that title that your dad had,
Yeah.
and obviously that's says something for maybe more rural Arizona at the time, but
Sure.
that's
It hasn't changed that much.
not a whole lot.
But
yeah,
yeah. But also, I mean,
yeah,
I still visit that town. I really like it up there. And
it's great. I
Yeah,
love it. I
it's
love it. And so you went to Connecticut.
yeah, I grew up in New Haven.
Yeah. What was
New
that
Haven
like?
area
What-
and New Haven. Yeah.
Well, tell me about that. What was that like for you?
That's broad. That's broad.
That's broad. Okay, let's narrow it down. Let's narrow the scope a little bit. Here's something. What's your earliest memory of New Haven?
Yeah, my earliest memory actually, I know what that is. It's I was living in the Worcester Square neighborhood, which was like, I guess like back in the like 50s and 60s, that was the Little Italy. I mean, it still is Little Italy, but like so many Little Italies, it's mostly Italian bars and restaurants or whatever. But
Yeah.
but I was living in that area, and in this second story apartment, and let's see, I was living with my dad's girlfriend and her son, Damien, and we were playing together, me and Damien, and
How old was he? What was the difference?
he was like
there?
a year older, maybe.
Okay.
I was like maybe 2,
Oh.
and he was like 3 or 4, something
Okay.
like that. And we were lowering these Tonka trucks down the second story apartment window into the parking lot below, and like mixing up mud, and had these little waterways happening, and like filling the truck up with mud and then pulling it back up on the string into the window. And it was just the time of my life, you know. It's like, yeah,
so good. Mud, just fun with mud.
Yeah.
And Tonka trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really nice. That's actually fun because it's. I was thinking to ask you too, like what your favorite toy was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're at
I've
Tonka
come prepared
trucks,
for that one.
you come prepared for that. Well, we'll circle back around to that maybe.
Yeah, very good.
As far as we go, but so playing with Damien, and then what was it like just kind of growing up there? Like, what was your what's like the feeling of it? You know, like the general...
Well, so this was like 70s, late 70s, and I remember just like everyone, all the neighbors knowing each other, and everyone hanging out. Sorry.
Yeah.
On their stoops, and like, kids playing outside, kids in the street,
unsupervised.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'd wander.
Yeah, like the good old days.
Yeah. So yeah, in that sense, it was a great place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When was your first memory of music?
Well, I just remember having records when, like when I was really like probably like 4 or 5. So,
what kind of stuff?
I had my dad's entire collection of 45s.
Yeah.
He grew up in 50s, 60s. So
what was some of the best records that you remember?
Oh, God. I mean, a lot of the typical stuff you could imagine, like Frankie Valli and Four Seasons.
The oldies.
Bill Haley.
The good oldies.
Yeah,
stuff.
all that stuff, Yeah.
That was... that was what I also grew up on. Even though my parents didn't listen to... They listened to oldies, but like they had a lot of classic rock records. But I was always super drawn towards the oldies. We had a really good oldies station in Philly. It's also Philadelphia, like street corner doo-wop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
The kind of epicenter. I'm realizing more as I grow up that, as I get older, that is really like the spot for oldies. And so I just would listen to that all the time. I got really into 50s. Like I'd slick my hair with Dippity Doo and all this stuff, and was just like super into it.
We've never talked about that. That's so crazy, because that's like... I have this, I was like probably like 4 or 5 years old. My grandfather was a barber.
Oh.
And I remember getting into his supply of like hair tonic.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like totally obsessed with greasers, and just like getting on my Hot Wheels with my hair just like completely like greased out. Like,
yes. Yeah, on your Hot Wheels.
On my Hot Wheels, yeah.
Man, I wish I had done that. That would have been awesome. Like total little toddler biker kind of going around.
So you're...
Yeah, definitely can. I don't know when this happened, but I know I had a switchblade comb. I think that was later on, but I definitely would have a comb and do that. And I didn't do like the Biff or the some of the really greasy stuff till like college time, but the Dippity Doo is what was available. So. Yeah. And
so
then
is
it
that
get
like
all
a pomade, the Dippity Doo?
Yeah, well, it's like a styling holding gel, so it would like harden.
Oh,
it wasn't like always
that's
greasy after that.
I remember it now.
But I wish I had the greasy stuff. It would have been fun. Yeah, and so the other day we were also talking about things like something that we both love, Sha Na Na.
Yeah, we were.
We do love Sha Na Na. They're awesome. They were referred to as the Kings of Woodstock. And I didn't know this.
I never heard that.
You told me.
Sense.
Yeah, you told me that I didn't realize Jimi Hendrix got them in to Woodstock.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's so cool, because I never knew why they were there. it's like, the first revival.
Right, why were they there is
why'd they come?
A question many people have asked.
But so good. My partner grew up with them, and I did not know who they were till much later. Like, I wish I had known who they were. at the time because it was
Yeah.
like, this like at the time, they would have been active and stuff. My mom actually just a few years ago went to this cool place in southern Jersey. It's called the Pittman Theater, and they do a lot of oldies revivals and have bands from the era that are still alive. And so she saw Sha Na Na
Oh, nice.
and met them all.
Oh,
and,
amazing. Wow.
Except minus Bowser, because
that was my.
he was the
Bowser,
one.
Bowser was my idol.
Did you ever
as a
watch?
kid.
Did you ever watch the show? The variety?
Absolutely. Grew up watching that show.
Man,
Amazing.
I don't know how I missed that. So that's another thing I did not
I don't know
know
when that got canceled, or if it ever went into reruns, or
so good.
but they're all on YouTube.
Yeah.
The Ramones episode is great.
I gotta watch that one.
But yeah, Sha Na Na. That's also I guess probably the second live band I saw.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was the
as a
first?
kid.
What's the first one?
The first show was the Kinks and the Turtles. My dad took me.
What?
Yeah, it was like probably 6.
Oh my gosh, where was that?
I want to say Hartford.
Okay.
Connecticut, maybe. Yeah.
Whoa, was that with Was that dude? Were both brothers together, Ray and Dave? I wonder.
I couldn't tell you.
I should know this as a
Yeah, you
Kinks
should,
on
yeah.
Aficionado.
Right.
If it was around then. I think they were still together, and then they split. But that's so fun. And the Turtles, yeah, I mean they're great.
They're
definitely
great. I love the
little
Turtles.
known gem of that time period. But man, that would have been a good show to be at. Both because I saw Ray Davies years ago in Tucson, but I wish I had seen the whole band. Like it wasn't the Kinks. I mean, it was definitely awesome, but not like
it was, yeah.
the number. Wasn't them.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's a good first concert to go to.
Yeah, I mostly just remember it being loud.
Wait, when did you start playing music?
I picked up guitar maybe when I was 10, a little bit here and there. And yeah.
What'd you like to play at the time then? That's kind of young. I don't think I started till a few years later.
Motley Crue.
Really?
Yeah. That was my
Nice.
my band.
Wow. And where are we at this point? Are you in Arizona now, or when did you get to Arizona? When you?
Yeah, moved here '89 the first time.
Gotcha.
And went back and forth a whole bunch.
Okay.
During high school and then in my 20s and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I'm wondering when you started playing, you were also going to like because we share quite a history of the punk world, and really super digging that, and a lot of awesome bands at the time. And so one of your first punk bands that you saw was in Tucson, right?
Yeah, I guess that would be Social Distortion. Yeah, at Mudbugs.
Mudbugs,
which, if you don't know, was like the spot back in. I don't know how far back that place went actually, but I don't know. Definitely throughout the '80s,
And now they call it the Rock.
Now it's the Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then that was definitely a place for like punk shows. And
what was that like, seeing stuff there? What do you remember about?
I mean, I didn't go to a ton of shows there, but
yeah,
I definitely remember. I mean, that Social Distortion show was where my ears started ringing for the first time. The beginning of the tinnitus.
Yeah.
And
thanks, Mike
it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Mike Mess.
Yeah, not even yeah, like I don't know if I'm how crazy I am about Social Distortion anymore, but but they're cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
It was a cool band to see.
Never got like totally into them, but they were all right, early.
DPC, of course. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, you told me
a lot of shows there.
Who did you see there? Some of the early.
Green Day, which I think was, maybe it was pre-Dookie.
Yeah. Oh, it must have been, because once they Dookie hit.
What year did that come out? I don't know.
Oh boy, 94, I think. I think it was 94.
Okay, yeah.
So you probably saw the early, like when they're still hitting Gilman and did their tour and, you know, started getting big. Like they blew up, man. They were huge.
But what was the
saw them
question
on
that
the
this started with?
Oh yeah, well, the first time seeing shows, but also
For shows, yeah.
And then where did you start going to? What were some also the other bands that you really liked at the time, like the '80s punk bands, just in general? Like, what was your, you know, because I was like for me it was like '80s punk that I got into in the '90s when I was youngish was like,
right.
you know, I mean some of the first wave, second waves, you know, it was like Ramones, Misfits,
Sure.
Clash.
Misfits. Yeah, that was like.
Yeah. And you
that was kind of it, because I was really into like thrash metal in the like mid '80s.
Yes.
And I guess it was like from Hit Parade or magazines with pictures of Metallica wearing Misfits shirts, and I'm like, keep seeing this Misfits, and then I end up buying a cassette of the Misfits.
Which one?
It was like it had the Crimson Ghosts with the like yellow and black print. It was like the
collection.
It was a collection.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
And I was like taking guitar lessons at the time, and I remember just in the way that these lessons work was like you took a cassette tape of a song that you wanted to
That's
learn.
what I did.
Yeah, that was pretty common. And so I took the Misfits tape to my guitar lesson.
Yeah.
And my guitar teacher was like this is just punk music, like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't punk, because I really like, I didn't like, my grasp of what that even was like just the caricature, I guess more of a caricature of punk, like from like popular culture in the 80s, which is like,
yeah, like
I don't even know,
movies of like mohawk,
like,
nose ring with like a mohawk, and like
totally like the real British kind of punk image. And
the young ones are like some of these like 80s movies that would have like, it was always like these 80s movies in like set in New York when that was starting to get real big, and they would just be like, here come the punks, the bad guys, and they were just like punk rockers, and
right,
like
all
they
that.
have this like weird amalgamation of punk, but
totally. So I was kind of angry that they said I was listening to punk music.
Yeah, you're like,
I wouldn't do that.
I'm insulting.
Yeah.
This is insulting to me.
But that was the start.
It's just like power chords, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, here it is. Here's.
Yeah, they were like,
this is how you play Last Caress.
Cause now, yeah.
Now you're going down that hole. You don't need me anymore. He's like a guitar teacher. Just.
Yeah.
It's funny too how like you can see. I mean, now we just look anything up, but back then you'd have to see like a band, what T-shirt were they wearing, and that was a way that they were promoting these other bands that you wouldn't hear about.
Yeah,
and
that
it was
like so important.
Such a gateway T-shirt.
Absolutely. And then you go to school and it's like, what are these bands that the kids are wearing? And then you're just kind of checking out these T-shirts and going to the record store and just buying things you don't know what you're gonna get.
No, totally like going blind into it, and like I don't know if this is gonna be cool, is it gonna suck, and but at least you get like a lead onto something else, even if it's I remember buying some stuff, it wasn't good, but then it would just bring me to this other place and be like, what's on this record label? Oh, interesting, this label's putting out all these bands, and then you start to like go through their roster and get really into it, like oh, this is SST. Hey, I like the Descendants. What else is on there? Black Flag, Meat Puppets.
Black Flag. There's another big one.
Gosh, yeah. And then we had all these like, I mean, did you some of those movies at the time, like Decline of Western Civ and Suburbia?
I didn't see that until I was like late 20s, probably. I missed that. Yeah.
I don't know how we got copies of it. We had VHSs of
that's so cool.
But I don't even know how, at the time. It's like, how is this passing around or something? You make a bootleg of it. So,
And then, of course, at that time it was like a mixture of MTV.
Mm-hmm.
And, what was it? I guess, was it 120 Minutes was like the alternative show. And you'd there'd be some awesome stuff like Dinosaur Jr. or whatever, and then like
that's where you got a sampling of music video. Like that was such an
Yeah,
important thing
yeah.
to get. Matt Pinfield of 120 Minutes, like real gruff, bald guy. He's like, I don't know if he was the original host. I think he hosted it all.
See the
but
British guy?
he wasn't British.
Oh,
No.
I just remember some British dude.
Yeah, maybe they traded off, but
Yeah.
but it was like, I remember also watching that. You just be waiting and kind of like, oh my gosh, this video
Mhm.
pops up, and then you're like, this is awesome. What's going on here? I got to get the
Mhm.
record. And it felt so fun too. It was like a slower
Did.
pace of like getting it, and then, it just meant so much to go like find the record or the CD or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And right, you like formed a relationship with the record.
Yes.
And even if it was mediocre, it
Yeah.
was something that you were going to be hearing a lot of,
Yeah. You'd
Like,
study it.
unless you hated it. But
Right.
yeah,
Well, then you could sell
Totally.
it and then get a new one or
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah.
And but yeah, just totally like just this like treasure trove that would pop up. And and then I don't know, did you ever do Maximum Rock and Roll or some of those magazines?
yeah,
that-
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying that at Toxic Ranch.
Huh.
Toxic Ranch when it was on Grant Road.
Oh, it was on Grant Road. So it was
Grant Road,
awesome.
And like this guy who worked there, who I feel like I was still seeing him around, but he had this amazing haircut where it was like he had long hair and then he just shaved the entire top of his head,
Wow. Like a
like a friar kind of-
intentional bald, like
Yeah,
balding
yeah.
friar. Wow. That's bold.
I don't know. That's my
That's punk
early
rock,
Toxic
man.
Ranch memory right there.
Whoa. And Toxic Ranch too, for people that don't know, awesome, because it's not here anymore. It's this awesome punk record store in Tucson. It's
Yeah.
like went back pretty far, I guess. And
Toxic Tater Tot, which was
what was that?
that was like the newsletter. Whom like my best friend in high school, like actually once got he got an issue, I guess you could call it, and there were green tater tots in there. Like they had
What?
like
Like
spray painted them green or something.
Frozen or something, or like,
Probably. Like,
dude, that's awesome. It's funny too. I wonder if like at that time, the 80s, maybe when it came out, it was like such a like the nuclear discussion. Everything was like toxic
yeah, everything
waste.
was toxic waste. Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know.
There's
That
toxic
was
waste everywhere.
Like, like yeah, you spend a lot of time thinking about toxic waste and when you're gonna run into it eventually.
Yeah, I think
Glowing green neon. Yeah.
it's funny just talking about this now. I'm having this memory of also being really scared of killer bees back in New Jersey, that they're coming to get us, and they're
Oh yeah.
which is funny because now I'm like living in Arizona. It's like, oh, they're all around me, the
Right,
killer bees,
right.
which are just the Africanized bee.
Yeah.
But had this huge fear that they were coming in swarms, and now I'm like, oh, they're in my yard pollinating our plants.
Was
Great.
that like 90s killer bees? right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like early 90s, I remember. And then the same thing with I guess the 80s into the 90s, and also being really scared of this memory of like, I'm going to step into a pile of toxic ooze and like mutate.
Yeah.
I don't know about mutate, but just at least like disintegrate. I'll start like
Yeah.
burning
Something
up. It's
really bad was going to happen when that toxic waste got to you.
I guess they really made a good deal with the Toxic Avenger, making
Oh,
that
yeah,
kind
I
of,
guess
like,
that's the classic,
repurposing
yeah.
to this good thing, and like kind of Swamp Thing in a way, but like it's a little different.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, actually. Swamp Thing, just as a side note, I read the whole Alan Moore comic series last summer. They're so good. Please read the Swamp Thing series that Alan Moore
Okay.
did. They're
Okay.
really awesome. You can borrow them. I have them here. If you
Oh
want.
yeah, I'd love to.
But so doing all this, the music and like the punk world, and just getting records and being able to yourself, the next logical step is I'm going to be in a band, and
Yeah.
you're having some more Caribou coffee
I
right now.
am.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, and I should say, I mean,
Delicious.
I didn't go to.
That's so nice. It sounds good.
I went to shows, but I never. I feel like my friends were the ones who were like just going like crazy and really just like going out to see bands every week, and I was always like more of a homebody,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love just being in my room listening to records like
Mhm.
as much as seeing bands. So
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah. No,
I don't know. I don't want to sound like, yeah, I was there for all the coolest stuff.
The OG.
Yeah, I
and,
saw
like,
some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's cool though. I think it's yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get that. More like introvert
Not
listening.
that Green Day would be like. I don't know.
That's a good one, man. Seeing Green Day.
Yeah,
because
they were a lot of fun.
I saw them on the Dookie tour
Yeah.
when they popped, and then it was huge. It was this like big, not a stadium, but it was a big hall,
Yeah.
huge, big place. And so the thought now of like, wow, I wish I could have seen them in like, one of our local VFWs that we go to or something.
Totally.
That would have been awesome.
A show that that's just like a really unforgettable one was seeing Jane's Addiction, Dinosaur Jr.,
Oh,
and I think it was Dead Milkman, I think,
oh God.
at the TCC.
Oh man.
So that was like, there's like, I don't know, thousands of people, but
Wow. That's
1990.
all right.
Was,
That's a pretty awesome bill
yeah,
there.
that was memorable.
Dude. And so did you start to play after, you're doing lessons?
Yeah, so, in Connecticut, I had a band with my best friend Frankie.
Who I've heard some awesome stories about.
Yeah,
Sometime you should get Frankie
so
on
many. Yeah, for sure.
talk. 'Cause, I mean, there's some really
And we recorded a record. Our band had a horrible name, Buffalo Meat. But we
what are you
liked
gonna
it.
do, man? Yeah,
What are you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
It's not as bad as like Throbbing Gristle. It's a pretty
Really? I don't know.
well, maybe it's bad. Maybe it's worse.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, we did this record, and that was like, I was like 15 years old, and that thing was gone forever. It was 30 years ago, and I was visiting a friend in Portland who I went to high school with, and who like has this music room where he's kept every little bit of every music he's ever had.
Oh, Thank goodness for these people.
He had a fucking cassette
Oh,
of Buffalo Meat. So
oh man.
I'm hoping to have. I'm trying to get it to Frank Bear,
Yes.
our local sound
All
guru.
things sound guru mastering for all your mastering and sound needs.
Yeah,
Frank Bear, a little plug for him.
Absolutely.
He's fantastic.
Awesome guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like the first thing, but we never played it. We never played a show. Like, we were terrified.
Yeah.
Completely terrified to play in front of people. But we played a lot.
What was it? Was it like real? Well, I guess we'll just have to hear it when it's out. But like the punk, just fast, or like what would you classify?
It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, definitely a fast punk, like Minor Threat kind of
Yes.
sounds, but also there was so much funk in the punk
Mm-hmm.
in like 1990. It was just like, that was like super
Yeah.
ubiquitous, I guess. And
Are we
there's
like
some of that
like in the
happening.
Fishbone
yeah,
zone?
absolutely.
That's-
Yeah, we loved Fishbone.
Yeah.
And sorry to use the R word, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers were like,
You're allowed to use that.
They were a big deal.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think people can.
It's very uncomfortable talking about that band.
It's tough because of, I think, what they've become. Just
Yeah,
as-
which is
where that's hard now to be like.
it's hard to get outside of that because this is going back, like,
Yeah.
they've been this other thing kind of for like 20 plus years now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. It's
so-
like two bands almost,
Yeah.
and so you have to separate the two, and then you can, look at the original. I mean, gosh, Flea's ties to the punk world alone.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, he's he played as bass in Fear for a
Right.
while, and then he
Black
was
Flag too.
Black Flag
Yeah.
too. Yeah. I mean, he's all over
Absolutely.
the place. So.
Yeah. No, I love their early stuff. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit.
Yeah. So okay, so that was kind of Buffalo Meat was a little like that, like
Yeah, I
that.
had some of that. So it's goofy,
Yeah. And
15-year-olds in 1990.
And then what else from there? What did you start playing? What were some of the other groups, if you remember?
When I moved to Tucson, I was in this band briefly called Psycho Beat.
Yeah.
And played my first show at Mudbugs
Yeah.
with Psycho Beat. which was kind of I would call him like an electro goth
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
It was like an electronic sound guy. I don't know what you call it. Like, you know, like, so it was like drum machines and keyboard sounds.
Nice.
And then I played guitar.
Yeah.
And then this woman who did all the vocals. I don't remember anyone's names. This is also 1990.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played the only show I played with them at Mudbugs, and it was actually Battle of the Bands.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it was all metal bands, you know. So so these are my memories. Are like, I had a Marshall half stack.
Yeah.
Because I really felt like I had to have that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is not easy to get at 15.
No.
But I had a Marshall half stack, and I lugged that thing. You know, I didn't think this was ridiculous at all at that age. I'm like I don't know, like I thought, like, you know, when you're on stage in front of an audience, you need the big guns, you know.
Yes.
So I'm like, I hope this is sufficient. So
Yeah.
so I had that on stage, and I forgot my guitar strap. So I'm playing like this electro goth punk stuff sitting on a stool, because no one would loan me a strap, because, you know, it was Battle of the Bands, so the more ridiculous you could look.
Yeah.
You know.
You're going to, like, they want you to fail. They want to win.
Yes. Yeah, and I just remember looking out into the audience of, you know, just mullets, and
Oh, man.
and it was, you know, it was grueling. It
And
was
on a
grueling
stool.
experience.
I mean, being on a stool.
Being on a stool, just like churning out these like distorted power chords. Yeah, just like
You're a stoolie.
high energy.
You're a
music.
stoolie.
That was rough.
That is
Remember the
hard.
Marshall, forgot the guitar strap.
Oh, man. Those Battle of the Bands can be tough.
I think
like-
that's the only one I've ever done. Have you done those?
I actually did one. Wait, I did two. Three of them. One in high school, where it was a little rigged, because we ended up, the band I was in was one of the beloved teachers. He was also a musician, and he played music with a band. And so him and his guitar player, we created a band and played called the Substitutes.
Oh, that's amazing. You never mentioned this.
Two Police songs and a blues song. One of their blues songs and a Police song, I think, Message in a Bottle and Don't Stand So Close to Me, I think. And his voice was just like Sting, so he hit those.
Wow.
We won that, but people were really
Nice.
pissed at us, some of the other bands who were just like really trying hard.
Okay.
And we
You had
jumped
a
in,
leg up.
but it was great. I mean,
Yeah.
we did it. It's their, too bad, tough luck. It's the way the cookie crumbles. And then I forget, there was another one somewhere. And then the third one I did was actually in Westchester University, and it was the band I had back in Philly, Bradford Trojan and Traffic Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the Battle of the Bands. It was an early incarnation of Dr. Dog. This is silly because it's such a stupid story, but it was an early incarnation of Dr. Dog, and we played Battle of the Bands. And for some reason, they made us do a follow-up, narrowed down because they couldn't choose to like 2 or 3 bands. So it was down to us and Dr. Dog, and
Wow.
Bradford Trojan. So anyway, I beat Dr. Dog.
Wow.
I'll always have that.
Yeah.
They might have
That's amazing.
been super accomplished in the
Yeah.
past 20 years and, living off the music, but I got him in Battle of the Bands.
Oh.
But it was also, we shared a member at the time. So,
Okay.
wait, did we share 2 members? Jeez. No, I think it was just 1 member at the time. But anyway, that was silly. And then we ended up winning, like, it was some money. It was a bunch of money we used to record. And, so that was the Battle of the Bands. But that was...
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's but Battle of the Bands. Anyways, also silly. I remember getting I might still have it for that last one. It was like a judge's survey or something for the bands, and it was we had to meet criteria. So it was sound, performance, catchiness, aesthetic
Catchiness
or
was
something. I don't know,
box.
something like that. It was so weird. I should pull that out. It was so
Yeah.
silly. But it was, silly times.
Nice.
So Battle of the Bands and, just being weird Battle of the Bands, like, that's out there. I always feel like the Battle of the Bands, like, later on, years after, I never ever wanted to touch it because it always just seems super, like, we're this produced band, they're competing in the bands that would go out to compete for that. We're, like, super, like, way too serious and, just kind of like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to do Battle of the Bands.
Right.
Yeah. So then playing for a long time, then like what other bands were you in after that? That was like the dawning of your band career. But like, what else?
In Tucson in high school, I was in a band called Sudden Others. Another awesome name.
Sudden Others.
I don't know. It was just like it seemed like you just would just get two words and juxtapose them, and that was like
that's it.
Whatever.
That's
that
the
works.
band.
Yeah.
Just plop them together.
Plop them together.
Fit it, make it work.
We played some parties and have a great memory of like when that was like downtown Saturday night was a really big deal back then. I'm like, I don't know if that was still happening when you moved here, but
like
you probably know of it.
They have like second Saturdays.
Yeah,
they were doing, but this was every
downtown,
Saturday.
Every Saturday was. I think it was every Saturday. I could be remembering wrong, but I think it was. Anyway, no, I don't know, but it was mobbed when you go down there. It was just like
on Congress Street.
Yeah, Congress, like all of downtown.
Are we talking like Hotel Congress, Vaudeville, Grill, like these places, or is it even predate that? That's when I got here because it was kind of like a ghost town when I got here in 2003.
Downtown?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then there's those few clubs that would just like
that's what I really remember
going.
the thing in 91, 92, that was the thing happening down there. It was downtown Saturday night.
Wow.
So we like just set up in the alley that's kind of on 6th Avenue north of Congress, like the most alley looking alley.
I know that. That's
we don't have a lot of alleys.
That's like a classic alley.
It
too.
is.
I noticed that alley when I go by there. I'm like, this is a really nice alley.
It's like our one real alley here.
Yeah. It's like a New York alley. Like real deal.
You could fool some people with the right angles there.
Crime alley.
So we set up and like got kicked out like within 10 minutes because I don't know, we didn't go through the proper channels to do that.
Sure.
And then after that was like really my transition into the hip hop. Which was like for me the rest of a lot of the 90s was
hip hop.
Yeah. Making beats and just like producing stuff.
Was this on some of the old, were you doing this on old drum machines and things like and I also had like some of the earlier samplers. That was really exciting to get the first sampler. And what was that? Do you remember the name of that one?
No, it was, I don't remember the name.
What was
Roland something?
Yeah, a Roland.
It didn't have no sequencer built in or anything. It was just like had to rely on looping things just perfectly, or
What was your biggest inspiration for doing this? Like, is there a band or group that was
inspiration for the hip hop?
Yeah.
My friend in high school, Jarrell, who's still really
I met Jarrell.
Close. Yeah. Still a really close friend. And he just hanging out with him. I don't know, like that's something I kind of resisted, I think.
Yes.
Coming from just like the punk and metal stuff, and like I didn't want to admit that I liked it at first, and and I think he like left this Cypress Hill cassette in my car or something, and I just found myself
Were you also getting super high at this time?
No, not yet.
Interesting. So Cypress Hill was before getting high.
Yeah, it really was.
That's interesting.
Right.
Just because you'd think that it would be.
They're the stoners of hip hop for sure.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, their first couple records. Like,
I
still just love. Yeah, the production.
we were listening to it the other day in the car. Amanda was really into it at the time.
Yeah?
And she loved them.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice.
I think it was due to highness,
Yeah,
her highness.
it's definitely you hear them for the second time when you
Yeah.
you know.
But I was imagining myself like, what would this sound like right now? I could. I
Mhm.
realized listening to it that it was really good, and that if I was high, I could really imagine like they're creating it for that. You know, like that music is really suitable for being high.
It is
In
No,
that
yeah.
way, like there's a, what am I trying to say? So the thing of like you're trying to create something, and you know this works within this framework. You know, it's
Mhm.
designed like what comes first. You know, is it like, do I get high and make the music like this because
Mhm.
this feels like you're high,
Right.
or are you high and then you're making the music that sounds like you're high?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. And I don't know, is like DJ Muggs made all of their
Oh,
beats.
Okay.
And, yeah, I don't know how high he was when he was
maybe he
making
wasn't.
the music. I mean,
Maybe
I
he wasn't.
know I remember RZA from Wu-Tang saying years ago that like that was a strict rule he had, and Wu-Tang was very also an advocate of
Clean, sober,
an advocate of like smoking and
get high.
yeah, getting high, but that was a strict rule RZA had, was like when he was making beats, like,
Yeah.
didn't touch it.
Oh, don't touch it when you're making beats.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like let that be really solid, and then you can go off. I'll let you have the foundation laid.
Yeah,
Then you
definitely.
just, like,
when the lyrics were being
They
laid
were
down,
gonna
yeah,
get
then it was
carried
yeah,
away
another story. Yeah.
into the ethers. Wow, that's wild.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, so hip hop and eventually made a record with Jarrell.
Yeah.
It was a group called DDT.
Where's that? You gotta dig that
You know,
out.
that's another one that I just I guess I got a copy of that because I didn't really keep anything. I
Yeah.
was just bad at holding on to stuff. But
Yeah.
I did get a copy of that like a few years ago.
Nice.
So, but that's not like I don't think it's streaming or
Okay. Well, we'll have
anything.
to get that out somehow.
Yeah.
Gotta get some listening.
For sure.
So doing that, and then what was what else from there? Like, what were some of the bands like just kind of going along? What were
Well, I was like super into during that time, like funk and soul.
Yeah.
Like Al Green was someone I got into in the early 90s. And
Really?
Still one of my, just absolute favorites. Like, yeah, I guess I wanted, it was like the, mid 2000s, when I started hanging out with Don and Key.
Yes.
And that's kind of how I met you too.
Was that when I started playing drums in Tyne with you? Is that's where we kind of met?
I guess that was all part of the same
Because they
time. I remember meeting you through Erica,
yes,
because I was really into visual
yeah,
art, and I was like painting a lot back then, and like,
yeah,
showing artwork, and that was kind of my creative output.
Yeah.
As far as like what I was sharing.
yes,
And I remember, so I was like having shows at Idle,
yeah,
which is now still Cafe Passe, right?
yeah, it still is.
And seeing you, like you were doing, remember you were doing Johnny Cash covers
Oh yeah,
in the back of Idle.
maybe, huh?
And Erica was like, she would, she kind of ran the art shows there,
I forgot she did. Yeah, right. She was curating the art there.
curating the art. Yeah.
Great space for art. I guess they're still doing that, but I haven't been in there in a while.
Yeah.
But
Same.
great. I remember seeing a lot of great art shows there. But yeah, I guess we started playing. That's probably how we kind of met too there, and then in Tyne, which Dawn and Key, awesome musicians that you play with now in Shooda Shook It.
Yeah.
They used to be in band Sugar Bush way back in the day,
Oh,
and in the interim there was Tyne, where it was kind of like a couple Sugar Bush songs, some of like the Shooda Shook It early songs, and
Yeah.
it's this like mixture. And I remember I just filled in. I mean, not like a super pro drummer, but enough to like, do kind of a disco beat that
which is
we
the
were all
most
doing,
important
which is
thing.
what it is.
with-
I'm no Lucas in Shooda Shook It. So just to say that. But that was a lot of fun. I remember
That
playing
was a
some
lot of fun.
shows,
We did some shows.
great venues around here, and doing that.
Did a little bit of recording.
Yeah, I think we did it on the Tascam 388.
That's right.
Couple
That thing was super cool.
that
Yeah.
I have somewhere. Maybe they're somewhere online. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun playing that. And then, gosh, well, we also had a project together, you and I, that I should probably mention. It's Bapoosh.
Oh yeah.
Just to
Bapoosh.
jump into this, because we've worked together quite a bit, and Bapoosh was this just very. It was also you, me, Dawn, and Key, and Jarrell at one point joined us
So
for a
now
live show. But it was basically this group.
We're no longer anonymous as of now.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh gosh, is it okay to spill the
That is
beans?
okay.
I think it's all
Totally
right. I
okay.
think it's okay to spill the beans. The reason being is it was us in these enormous furry costumes that we all made.
And we did go to some lengths to
Oh,
not reveal our identity.
yes. Like,
Because the point was to really feel completely liberated from everything you normally experience and being in a band and
yes.
going on stage and
Yes.
doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the opposite.
It was total opposite, because it was also all improv.
Yes,
It was completely improvised, playing just soundscapes. There was
Mhm.
vocals and singing, but it was just very like
Yeah.
totally off the cuff. And
And
you
really
can,
being relaxed.
yes.
Like you could lay down and
Yeah.
have a little nap
I-
if you wanted to during the set, and
I remember
that was okay.
I remember going into the crowd and like laying down on some people once
Sure.
in the
Yeah.
audience with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
friend. They would just pet me. They didn't know who. Some of them knew who I was, but it was. I guess another thing we could have done, which we didn't do, is we could have traded costumes. So they think, oh, this is
Yeah.
Dawn coming over, and
Right.
it's actually me, but that would
If it had continued, we would have.
we would have gotten to
gone
that
there,
point.
yeah.
But my costume got stolen, which somehow is
There's
ridiculous.
something very mysterious. Yeah.
And for people that want to check it out, you can look at. We made an album. It was on Bandcamp that we recorded,
Still there.
totally
Yeah.
improvised, but
Mhm.
it was recorded in the
Some
studio.
YouTube stuff is
That-
out there.
Yeah, that's some good YouTube stuff.
They asked us to play the what was it, the
Bicus art auction.
Bicus
Yes.
art auction
Yeah.
one year, which was someone made a really interesting choice.
Yeah, that was a weird one, because they were just wanting to. I mean, it kind of made sense. People are just bidding and going about. They want
Uh-huh.
ambient music, but they were
Yeah.
not expecting that exactly.
And we decided to do the whole set well, for lack of a better word, lip synced, because we were
Yes.
in costumes, but
Yeah.
we just played the record in the background and just had props, instruments as props.
As if we weren't already pushing the envelope
Yeah.
with trying to like make it easy for ourselves. That
Yeah.
was we'll
Yeah.
just lip sync to it. It's in these huge furry masks. I sweat so much in that.
Oh yeah.
And I remember we had to wear like stockings on our face, because breathing in some of the fur from the
right
material
that's right,
was
yeah.
so disgusting. And
Yeah, my mask
Ugh.
is still quite funky
Yeah.
to this day. Like, I don't know how to really clean those, but
it's so amazing. And then so Bapoosh had its career, and it could also resurface again someday.
I would.
That
Yeah,
would
I've
be
always
great.
wanted to come back to that.
That
and-
could be a distance thing, because we could all have masks and it'd be very easy
well,
to hide.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. And then you went on to be in this awesome band, Shooda Shook It.
Yeah.
That is great band. And Dawn and Key, you, Lucas, also from Pork Torta, great local band,
So great. Yeah.
long time going. And you guys have how many records have you put out? You've done 2?
Let's see. Yeah, 2 records that we put out,
Yeah.
and a live album, I guess.
Cherry smoke up on this real opinion. I wear my watch really loose around my wrist. Be rigid, it's a mode of operation. Helping trajectory of sleep and stimulation.
But so Shooda Shook It, how long has that been going?
That started in 2014.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah,
So
about 6
6
years. Yeah.
That was around. Yeah, that was the same time you recorded you produced my first album, actual like official self-title, which was a lot of fun.
Around the same time?
2014.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
did it at the studio there that you had.
Yeah.
And that was a blast. I'll just say, recording with you, totally analog, like
Yeah.
the old board that you had. You had this awesome setup, and
That was great.
yeah, really, really sounds good.
I was just went into that building. This was in the Citizens Warehouse,
Yes.
which I just went in there for the last time to like get the last little bit of stuff out of there.
Yeah.
So really just
Yeah.
felt like the end of an era.
Yes. And that's where we started the album. I remember. And
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
it over to, gosh, we went a few places with that one. Loveland, because you had some studio. You were like using his studio for a little, and then you went to the Dry River studio.
Yeah, that's right. A few places.
But that, one
That
of
was a lot of fun.
one of the things I remember,
Great record.
because it was really great and super great. Like, I mean, the sonic mastery that you brought to it, and production that you were doing, it was so good. I remember one point we were doing mixing, and we're just like really getting into it and getting a little crazy, and we're like, let's I had some of these chili covered cashews, and there was powder left, and I was like, let's snort the powder and like pretend like we're kind of in a, because I think it's something with the board, something with the mixing board brought this out of me. Like, it's this old 80s mixing
did we
board.
actually snort it?
I think we just took a little like
Did a little
bump where you told me then referred to that as that's called marching powder, another name for cocaine.
Yeah, another band.
Another
from
band,
a little bit later
punk
on.
band
Yep.
later on, but I wasn't aware that you were in. Really great punk band, and that's where I learned about that, which I think is a great, awesome title. I don't
Nice.
think many people know about marching powder as another name for that drug, but we did that. It was like a little chili powder, and we just kind of burned
That's
our
right.
nasal passage and
Yeah.
woke us up a little bit,
For
and then we
sure.
kept mixing, and
Yeah. Yep. Give you a little something.
and you've played with me. You've played in my group, Bradford Trojan and Friends
Yeah.
band.
Yeah, quite a bit though. Yeah.
So definitely during that, did you play? Not in the first, amalgamation. I'm trying to remember. You did at some point. You joined in and started
Yeah,
playing.
I was
bass.
probably like I started playing with you. I want to say 2015.
Maybe the
16,
following year
I don't
after
know.
the record came out. We did some. Well, because you came up to Miami when we did that Miami,
that
Arizona.
that
weird
man, music festival in Miami, Arizona.
Maybe we'll just talk about that for a moment because it's
Sure.
such an interesting place. I totally forgot. Maybe blocking some of it out of my memory banks because it's such a. They did this music fest in
Strange
Miami,
place.
Arizona, and we all went up. Huge
Yeah.
caravan, Tucson bands, and we
And Phoenix bands.
Phoenix
also.
bands. And it was like crazy big music festival, but like not a ton of people and a super dead town. It seemed
was
like
just bands watching bands.
yes, basically
Yeah,
it was like
right.
a very rundown old mining town. And
Yeah, that town is really cool looking.
yeah, I remember
sure.
getting there and it felt like it was Village of the Damned or like Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
The whole like vibe of that was just terrifying. And we ended up playing, and it was just, I think a bunch of people in other groups that we were with were on acid, and it was just kind of like a nuts. Remember that?
Yeah,
It
there was a
like
bunch of acid happening that
with
night.
people.
That's right.
And then luckily you, me, Dawn, and Key like split after we played like real late into the night and found a cool hotel like out of the town, and
Yeah.
that was nice. Got away from
Yeah.
the madness of Miami, Arizona, but it was,
Yeah.
it was quite a I think some of the bands there like Caterwall and
Mm-hmm.
Before Skin maybe played.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
and us, and then a couple, maybe Casey Golden. I forget some of the bands, but it was fun. And so yeah, playing, and then you also recently were playing like last year you did some shows with, which I thought this was really cool, Kid Congo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was that like? He's for people that don't know, He is
Of the Cramps.
Cramps. Original guitar player?
No, not original guitar player. The Cramps. He came and I don't know. I don't want to get this wrong, but it was, I don't know, maybe 81, 82, around there.
Still pretty early.
Oh
then,
yeah, very
like
early.
Early formation.
He's a founding member of the Gun Club.
Yeah, which you turned me on to, and I never heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
I hadn't, but
Such
awesome.
a great band.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, and and also played with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds for many years.
Yeah,
and he's currently with Kid Congo and the
Pink Monkeys.
Is it Flying Pink? No, it's just Pink Monkey Birds.
Pink Monkey Birds. That's it.
I don't want to get that wrong.
No, but and he's happens to be living in Tucson now, so that's pretty cool. Big diversions. What was your favorite movie? Is your favorite movie?
Heavy Traffic.
Tell people about Heavy Traffic, because you're the one that showed that to me at Thanksgiving many years ago. We had a viewing of that.
Oh, you were there.
I was there for that, which I'd never seen. But just tell people about. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I got turned on to that movie in high school. I had this amazing music teacher who loaned me a VHS copy, and it's a Ralph Bakshi production. Who also, most people know him from like Wizards, Fritz the Cat. I'm not a huge Fritz the Cat fan, but that's like most people have heard of those. But Heavy Traffic. Just a really beautiful like 70s animated film that really just, I feel like it just really captured like just like this sort of I don't know, dreary. Yeah, we just got coal rolled from the sky.
Now, what is that? What does that mean?
I feel like you don't hear about coal rolling quite as much as you did maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, but it's like these giant trucks that are diesel, and they're rigged so they have this big smokestack. And I don't know the mechanics of it, but they hit a button or something, and just this black smoke from their engine comes out the back. And they typically will try to get in front of like a Prius or something really efficient. Just to like suck my smoke, like,
oh dude.
And I got coal rolled because I don't have a Prius. My car it's okay on gas.
Yeah.
But from the front it has a similar profile.
And you got coal rolled.
I got coal rolled on 4th Avenue of all places. Yeah, it was.
It's not fair.
It's quite something.
Jeez, man. What times we're living in. Oy.
So I feel like that was the sky version. That just happened, maybe.
We definitely got that. Yeah.
That was awfully low.
Yeah. Yes.
Low flying.
That was a low flying vehicle. Yeah. Anyway, back to he's awesome. That was a great movie. Definitely see Heavy Traffic. Really.
Heavy Traffic just got like, I don't know, the
vibe is amazing.
That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
If Ralph Bakshi.
Animation's so good.
Just like captured this like just everything about like to me. I mean, for me, like I grew up in the 70s. 70 miles from New York City. I spent a lot of time there as a kid, and so I can't speak as somebody who grew up there, but the vibe was like so
New York 70s, like
God, and he just yeah. So it's like this real it's like real nostalgic, but kind of dark, dreary.
Yeah. It's
just
good.
Beautiful.
It's really good. You gotta see that.
And very roughly done.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
And if you hear Ralph Bakshi talk about that film, it's like it was just the heart that came through, and not really about any production value. So.
Yeah. Gosh.
So
awesome.
Bear in mind if you watch it. Yeah.
Oh man. Then you also I also wanted to know what your favorite toy was. Coming back around to toy time, growing up.
Of Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ha!
So not the character Stretch Armstrong, but it was like, I guess, his nemesis, which was the green. I don't even know the name of it, but the green monster.
The green monster.
This humanoid, like green monster guy who was stretchy, just
Yeah.
like the Stretch Armstrong. So these were like toys that were rubber
Yeah.
and filled with this gel like substance and had these incredible stretching abilities and like and it's a sad toy to have as my favorite because they did not age well, like
Yeah, degraded probably the
yeah,
materials.
I mean, yeah, they're like almost like just perishable. 'cause
Yeah.
they're like, you know, this liquid center
God.
toy.
Yeah, anything that's any of them that are still out there probably need to be like hermetically sealed in order to
Right.
keep its integrity.
Right.
I remember Stretch Armstrong. I never had one, but I do remember the commercials for it.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, and just like yeah, what a fun toy. You just stretch and pull them, and it's like, you know, get to take
Yeah, it
out
was a
your
real like
frustrations.
textural experience.
Yes.
You know, just the
Yeah.
squishy softness of the.
I mean, what else in nature? Is there anything in nature that you can stretch like that and pull, other than like maybe a latex tree, a rubber
Yeah,
tree or
like
something?
Those are some stretchy trees, I hear.
Some stretchy stuff. Sounds like a fun. What would you do
Yeah.
with him, Stretch?
I feel like it was kind of like a teddy bear is how I remember it. Like I just wanted to take him everywhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something really cool about that. I don't know. It was like this really ugly monster thing
Yeah.
that was like that was like my best friend, you know, that I took around with me. It's like kind of
Yeah.
some good early shadow work maybe.
Yeah, me and my monster. Yes. Oh my God. Anything else that you wanted to share here? Because I want to just be mindful of time. But
Sure.
what about anything that you want to plug or plop out there?
God, I hadn't thought about
plop
plugs.
filter. You could do a plop filter.
Plop filter?
Yeah. Yeah,
what's
it just
that?
filters out any plop that we're saying. Instead of a pop filter, you could just the plop filter filters out our nonsense.
Oh, okay. So this will be a highly edited portion of the
No,
show.
it's not. We're not editing. I just anything that you feel like you want to, anything you got coming up, and we could put links to anything too. But just as far as stuff that, for instance, one thing I know that we gotta at least say is your self-titled album, Alige,
Oh yeah, the Alige record.
which I forced you to do.
You did, man. Thank you so much. That
just-
probably
Yeah.
would probably still be in production,
Yeah,
but Bradford gave me like some real heavy deadlines and
we hit those deadlines.
laid down the law. That really
I
helped.
did lay down the law. We hit you hit the deadlines
Yeah.
pretty well, as far as what we got, and you
Good
did it.
times.
So it's this
Yeah.
great album. I've listened to it a bunch. It's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't done any kind of official release, but
Yeah,
yeah, should be soon.
yeah,
But it's out there already.
yes. We'll link to it. We can link
Despite release, it's
to it. Yes,
in existence. It's
yes,
on Spotify or
yeah.
Bandcamp. Everything's just everywhere now, right?
It's all over the place.
Yeah. I
Anything
don't
is
even know where it is.
Anything is everywhere, and everything is always.
Yeah.
Did you?
For sure.
Until we get hit by a comet and there's another flood. Oh my God. Do you have anything else though that you do want to plug? Like I just plugged that for you, but is there anything that you feel?
I wish I had come prepared to plug.
Well, you know,
Because,
we could just plug it all up in the metadata. This has been awesome.
Yeah,
I
thanks
definitely
so
want to
much,
have you
man.
come back, and it'd be really fun to
Okay.
get you on again. You know,
Would
and,
love to.
Yeah, this is just a super fun thing to do. It's been a blast talking and
Same here.
catching up and
good
hearing
times,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, it's also just, you know, we get to just hang out, and like it's rare these days to even be able to do that. So the fact that
Yeah.
we're doing this here on the back porch, and
Yeah, it's sort of like it's kind of like having a talk.
yeah,
A little different.
yeah. I mean, there's some stuff in front of our faces, and we have
Yeah.
these bands on our heads that
Yes.
make it a little less like natural. But oh, we might get coal rolled again. I hear it coming. No, it's far in the distance.
think
That's the train.
the train.
That's just the
Train's
that's
all right.
the little engine that could transport because of NAFTA.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, listen. Let's talk soon, and
Let's do it.
be well, my friend.
You too, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yip yip. How was that? Fun. That's my synopsis. Fun. Till Daddy takes the T-bird away. Then it's not fun anymore once he takes it away. Then you're crying your eyes out because the T-bird's gone. Jason. Wow. Some interesting things. I got to learn some stuff about Jason that I was unaware of. Really cool stuff. And, you know, it's just fun to connect on our musical tastes. And if you've guessed by now, my early punk background, I share with a lot of my friends that I've known. And something we forgot to talk about totally was how we did Misfits Mondays. It was a group we had with actually Danny in Port Torda as well. A couple other people would join in and out. And it was during Halloween time. For a couple years, we would meet on Mondays and just rip through Misfits songs. That was a blast. A lot of fun playing Misfits. Good times. The other thing I forgot to mention and talk about with him, because we're really focusing on music, but Jason is an incredible artist and muralist. Some of his murals that are around town are fantastic. For those of you in Tucson, if you can ever get to the historic YMCA building in the courtyard, is an awesome mural that he's done. I love it. It's really cool. So I can't wait to have him on again and talk to him more. We like to talk to each other, so I can't wait, and I will be back with him at some point soon. For now, please enjoy yourself. Find joy in the small things and take time to appreciate what you have. All right. See you later, friends.